Welcome to another fantastic live episode of Small Business Celebration Meat and Potatoes. Yes, this episode is live. If you're watching it later, then obviously it's not, but that's okay. Right now here at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we are live here at Modern GG. We're going to be talking about how to work with multiple personality types. No, not the disorder type. It's people. How do you talk with people and groups of people to help guide them and funnel them all in the same direction? But we can't do this without our presenting sponsors and our location sponsor. Now, at Oliver & Associates Real Estate, we know that buying or selling a home isn't just a transaction, it's a life moment. That's why they're committed to building relationships that last. They take the time to truly understand your needs, your dreams, your stories, so they can find you not just a house, but a home. Give Oliver & Associates a call at 661-808-3444 or check them out at yourrealtor.us today. Today's Meat and Potatoes live episode location is brought to you by Modern GG Gallery, an ultra-modern art gallery located in downtown Bakersfield, California, featuring the artworks of the modern abstract artist Johnny Ramos. Whether you're looking for artwork for your office, your home, or a postcard that you can send as a thank you note, go to Modern GG Gallery, located at 900 18th Street in Bakersfield, or give them a call at 661-840-8729, or email them at art@moderngg.com today. Welcome back to another live episode here of Small Business Celebration Meat and Potatoes. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Also like and notify so you get notified for future episodes here on Small Business Celebration, both our live episode and our regular episode that drops on Saturdays at midnight. Now, our guest this week is Quon Louey, the owner of Telehealthdocs. Welcome to Small Business Celebration's Meat and Potatoes.
Well, thank you for having me.
And for visionaries who don't know who you are you and what is it that you do?
My name is Quon Louey. I'm the founder and executive director for Telehealthdocs Medical Group. We've been operating since 2011, and we bridge the gaps of care for a lot of rural customers by providing virtual care to all of our customers.
Now, one of the great things about doing Meat and Potatoes is we get to do a deep dive. We get to get into the meat and potatoes, the real nitty gritty of business, small business ownership. And the great thing that you've done, Quon, is you are way ahead of the curve in telemedicine before it was cool like it is now.
Absolutely. We believed in this concept and this delivery of care. Like I said, we've been doing it since 2011.
And for those that don't know, telehealth is?
Basically, it's a secure way of seeing your doctors virtually via something like whether through your computer or some electronic device.
And the great thing is you're so ahead of the curve, but it's so, it's I wouldn't say commonplace, but a lot of people are using it now.
Absolutely. And today, pre-COVID, it was more of a novelty.
Right.
Post-COVID now, everybody expects it. It's
Sure.
part of the delivery of care, you know.
Right.
You can leave your home, so how you can see the doctor, you can see him virtually.
So this way, I don't have to go to the doctor's office if I've got that really annoying seasonal allergy cold that makes it disgusting for everybody else around. I can just go online and call my doctor and he can send the prescription over.
Absolutely. You can just see it, depending on which physician you see, what specialties, what you're seeing them for. Now is out there.
Right.
Is the best way to see your physician, and especially with technology today, you can probably do about 80% of what you can do face to face.
How many physicians are on your network right now?
Oh my gosh. Last count, probably about 60 to 70 physicians from all over the country, also from other countries.
Really? How far away?
Romania, Peru.
Really?
Oh my gosh, it's been phenomenal. It's because of word of mouth.
Really?
You know, develop a great reputation, and then they tell their colleagues and they want to join your group.
Well, and that's the key right there for business owners, is one of the things that you have to do for your business is on the supply side is you have to get a lot of different physicians willing to come onto your platform to be able to do this. How did you invite your first physician onto Telehealthdocs?
You know, that's a great question, Mike. Basically, it took a lot of convincing.
Right.
Because, first of all, you take a physician who's never done this before,
right,
who's been going through medical school, having a private practice, and they're used to touching the patient. So the challenge is, are you kidding me? How am I going to treat the patient without touching them?
Right.
You know, it's obvious for mental health,
right,
because you don't touch them, and then you don't have to deal with any tools. But if you're dealing with many other specialties, you deal with equipment, stethoscope, and things like that.
Right.
So it was more of a retraining process for them.
Now, it's not a problem because everybody's used to it.
Absolutely, because everybody's accepted it.
Right.
The three components: you have the physician,
right,
the patient, and the insurance company.
Okay.
Because those are the biggest challenges when we first started in 2011.
Now, you've got 60 to 70 physicians on your network. How do you help those physicians all stay on the same page? Because it's almost like, this ebb and flow of a river that you're of physicians and all these different personality types. How do you keep them engaged and keep that quality of care going, and at the same time not make them feel alienated and alone, and yet part of a greater purpose?
Phenomenal question. We respect them. We take care of the patients, because in healthcare, first of all, I'm not a physician.
Okay.
Let's just point that out. I'm not a physician. I'm more of a techie guy who
Right.
kind of put the technology together. So I can't tell them how to run their practice, but I allow them the freedom to run their practice with some oversight, of course.
Okay.
With our medical team, things like that. But overall, we let them run their practice their way. And just like with anything else, it's not strictly a black and white type situation. Medicine is very subjective.
Right.
We let them run their own practice the way they're doing it. So by doing that, you give them the respect with the concept of following the standard of care. Just follow the standard of care, take care of your patients, and we'll take care of the rest. That's why we can continue to build our business.
One of the things that I think is fascinating is that you have a physician that, and please correct me if I'm wrong, they've gone through 4 years of college, they've gone through at least another 3 years of upper division, getting their PhD, then they're going to residency for another 2-4 years.
Depending on the specialty,
right.
all the medical school and all the debt.
Right, exactly. And they come out, and then they'll have somebody like you who's never, you're not a physician,
right.
and they're going, well, what does Quon know about medicine? I know everything there is to know about this specific area. How do you work with all these different personality types that, yes, they've put in all this work and deserved all this credit for what they've done, and yet you still have to be the one on the sidelines being their cheerleader, I should say. How do you do that?
So it really breaks down to what part of the career, what portion of the career are they in? If they're near the latter part of their career versus when they're just starting out, right? If they're near the latter part of their career, they already have the experience of what does it take to run a business. If I'm running a private practice, I'm working for a group, what are the challenges I've experienced and so forth.
Right.
But if I take away those challenges, if I say, Dr. Smith, if I take away those challenges and all you have to do for me is take care of the patient.
Right.
I take care of your billing, I take care of your malpractice, I take care of literally everything else for you. What do you think of that?
Right.
Usually the next question is, where do I sign up?
Where do I sign? Sure,
right?
sure.
I mean, because that's what they want to do. They
So-
want to school to practice medicine.
What does it look like 5 years later? Because this physician has gone through and their practice has grown because of you.
Sure.
And how do you keep encouraging them, and especially since now there's this big space, this big void, because they are not touching the patient anymore.
Right.
And at sometimes you get, at least for some people that are extroverts, where we're used to touching and being
Sure.
around, and now we're literally just in this office talking to somebody on a screen, it can get rather lonely. How do you help that physician and encourage them and keep them motivated?
Well, obviously it depends on the specialty. And some requires another person in the room and some don't.
Right.
So we actually have personnel who becomes the hands of the physician in the room. And they direct everything that needs to be done for them.
I'd like to shift gears a little bit because you're involved in Rotary.
Absolutely.
And
been a Rotary 30 plus years.
Congratulations. You
Thank
used to
you.
be a lieutenant governor?
Past president,
Right.
Former assistant governor. Now I'm the executive assistant governor this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's been a huge part of my life, being part of Rotary.
To say that that working with a nonprofit, everybody's a volunteer.
Absolutely. It's a passion.
How do you help guide, especially in a senior leadership role that you're in? you've got, it's one thing to be the president of an individual chapter who has anywhere between 10, 15, 20 members, maybe more, depending on the chapter. And now you've got thousands of Rotarians in which you're hurting. And how do you help this volunteer army move in a unified direction?
Respect. We all have the same purpose of making our community better. And our Rotary District 5240 encompasses 4 counties. So I'm only one piece of the puzzle. We have a district governor who oversees everything. I'm just one of the many people that report to her. But I handle the Bakersfield area, the Kern County area usually. And basically, Kern County is different from the other counties in the sense of we're almost like our own little island.
Right.
We have our own little personality. And I'm able to utilize being a resident here for, 30 plus years to represent us in that way.
One of the things you're also involved with is the Bakersfield Asian Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, the Kern County Asian.
Oh, Kern County, excuse me.
The Kern County Asian Chamber of Commerce,
right.
Yes.
Thank you for the correction on that, because this is a fairly new development.
Yes, we're only 1 year old, but I had this vision for probably over a decade now.
Yeah.
Former life was I was the president of the Chinese American Association of Kern County, which is just one ethnicity group.
Right.
And even at that point in time, I was envisioning, we're so multicultural. You have many facets of the Asian culture, from all different parts of Asia.
Right.
So why just represent one? Why not create a chamber to represent all?
Right.
But it took a while. Like I said, it's all volunteer work.
Right.
And I got together with some friends, and we were able to pull this off. And like I said, within 1 year's time, we were able to have 3 phenomenal events, which is outstanding, which is all volunteer work.
Right. And Emily and I, producer Emily and I, went to one of them.
The Mixer.
The Mixer, we did. And it was
Lexus.
At Motor City Lexus. It was a fantastic event. How did you choose, or how did you help your team choose on what foods? Because there's a variety of different foods there. You had all these different dancers that were there, and you had different speakers. It was a great, very well designed, laid out event. In fact, producer Emily commented on one of the great things about it is it didn't have a deafening DJ, so people could actually hear and have a conversation with each other. How did you work with all the other volunteers in that group to come up with all these fantastic facets without stepping on each other's toes?
Well, we're such a diverse group that each one of the board members has a different vision of how it works. And we just need to lead them appropriately. We all have different skill sets, but we all have a common goal, is to represent our community within the Asian people. Working with Ali Douglas there at Motor City Lexus, he's just been a godsend. He was able to sponsor, the food. He was able to give us the place where we can utilize it. And it was just phenomenal. So how do we organize everything? Learning from other people's experiences.
How so?
Attending other people's chamber, attending other mixers, coordinating other events. Among all the board members, we've coordinated many different events throughout the years, so we learn from other people what to do as well as what not to do. I've learned from other events, if you have the DJ playing too loud of music, you're yelling over each other, you can't really communicate. You only have 2 hours, Of course, there's always ways to do things better. I mean, with the recap, we could have done this better, could have done that better. But at the end of the day, we're able to accomplish the mission, which was to get everybody in there, to associate, to meet people, and have fantastic food.
And it was incredibly well attended. Congratulations,
absolutely. Thank you so much. It takes a village, literally. It's not just me. I can't take all the credit. It's definitely a team effort.
Now, Visioneers, it's time for the fortune cookie game. And no, Quon, we have done this with everybody.
It's not just a fortune cookie for the Asian community, right?
And if you're not familiar with the way the fortune cookie game works, I have a sealed fortune cookie here in my hand. I have never opened it. I have no idea what the random fortune cookie inside of it is. And I'm going to give this fortune cookie to Quon, who will go ahead, he will open it up, crack open the cookie, read the fortune, and add "in my business" at the end of it.
In my business,
In
huh?
my business
All
at the
right.
end of it, and then explain for a minute or two, or 30 seconds.
Do I get to eat it first?
Absolutely,
or am I
absolutely.
just,
In fact, we prefer that if you eat it while you're trying to read the fortune.
From Panda Express.
Okay.
Find beauty in the ordinary in the business. Is that the?
Yeah, yes.
Find beauty in the ordinary of the business. The beauty behind it is more than just the service. The beauty is the people to help run your business. To me, I'm just their lead. The true winners and the true success of the business are the people that work with you. That's the beauty in my eyes, because they're the foundation that makes it work.
Very good. Well done,
work?
you. That was great. Fantastic. Now, Visioneers, what you've been waiting for. The person who actually makes the main show interview questions interesting, well, many of the time, is producer Emily, and she's got her own segment called Questions by Emily.
And Questions by Emily is sponsored by Cazador Consulting. Need elite talent to grow your team? Cazador Consulting Group in Bakersfield is your go-to partner in staffing and direct hires. They don't just fill jobs, they build lasting partnerships by listening to your needs and delivering top-tier customer service. At Cazador, mutual success isn't a goal, it's the standard. This is more than staffing, it's building your team so you can build your business. Visit CazadorConsultingGroup.com or call 877-800-4622. That's CazadorConsultingGroup.com or 877-800-4622, and let's build your future together. And Questions by Emily is sponsored by Cazador Consulting.
Hello, Visioneers. Welcome to Questions by Emily. I'm Emily, and if you've got questions, feel free, drop them in the live chat. I can see them, I have it pulled up, and if you have something you'd like to ask Quon about him or his business, please let us know. With that, I'm curious, Quon, how you balance the networking with running the actual business, the day-to-day stuff, because you go to a lot of events and you're in charge of a lot of things and you're head of a lot of organizations, and that doesn't just happen. That takes a lot of strategic planning and scheduling, and there's still all the business side of things to do. How do you balance that, and how would you suggest to other business owners to be able to balance that kind of a thing?
Defining what's important in life, life balance. The most important thing in my life is my family, religion, and so forth. So obviously that always takes priority, but sometimes that's also a gray area. To have a very understanding spouse and family to know what you want to do. So obviously my business, Telehealthdocs, is the core piece, and that's our revenue, that's our income, and it provides a great service to the community. And practically everything else is volunteer work between Rotary, Valley Fever, America's Foundation, Asian Chamber, and so forth and so forth.
So you're not at every meeting, you're getting other people.
Absolutely, you have to delegate, delegate accordingly, but the ones I need to be at, I will, and just schedule accordingly. Just have a great staff, the people to work with you, and if you're not on my calendar, I won't show up more than likely.
So then how do you get to that point where you've found people that you can delegate to? Because I think a lot of business owners, they want things to happen, they want to see things move forward, and they just can't quite seem to get people on board. And so they're sort of lost in this sea of, well, I have to do it myself because I can't find anyone to delegate to. How are you finding those people that you can trust, that you know they're not just being voluntold, they're actually volunteering?
Sure. So basically, in the beginning, it's always tough to find the right people, right? I mean, it's like rolling the dice. You get the right people and they stick it out with you. They believe in your vision, right? And they work with you. And even at that, sometimes it deals with compensation. They could be with you for a while, and then somebody offers them $10 more an hour or whatever, and then they have no choice but to leave, and then you respect that, right? I always have the belief that if you can further yourself, then you should. At the end of the day, you got to take care of what's best for you and your family. To answer your question, we just delegate accordingly. We just manage the office as if anything else. You just have to figure it out. In the beginning, it's going to require plenty of sacrifices.
Yes, that's very true. And then, how do you network outside of your circle? Because you said that some of your doctors are from different countries.
Sure.
I mean, if you've got a doctor from Romania, I don't think you just went to Romania one day, unless maybe you did.
Well, not in this case, but maybe one of these days I will.
Yeah. So how do you network outside of your circle to get people from all over the place to see the same vision?
So if you treat people how you want to be treated, and you gain the respect, word of mouth advertising is the best. And the way I was able to recruit these physicians, because they were friends of somebody else that was already on the network. In our line of business, doing telehealth, it doesn't matter if you're 2 miles away or 2,000 miles away, as long as they meet their criteria. And I was fortunate enough that these physicians that I brought on already has a California license, already to go. They used to practice in California. So now they've moved on to work elsewhere.
I see. So a lot of these people, even if they're outside of the country, they've all worked in California.
Yes, that's one of the requirements.
Okay, that's a requirement.
Yeah, they have to have a California license.
Oh, that makes sense. So you're networking, but you're still finding people. There's a starting point.
Sure. Yeah. So they've worked in California at one point in their career. They kept up with the licensing and all whatever's required for them to be a physician. And now they are just physically somewhere else for whatever reason.
Oh, and then so all of your patients are also in California?
Yes, currently we're in California. Where focus has been with rural health. Locally in Kern County is dealing with like the Lamont, Lake Isabella, and many rural areas that we provide care. We bridge that gap of care, but we also have many customers in Northern California, in all these rural communities.
I see. And you were saying earlier that valley fever tends to be what people are seeing
Oh my
these
gosh.
days.
So that's one of my other things is valley fever. Past president and current board member of Valley Fever's America Foundation.
Oh, wow.
We create awareness for valley fever. Valley fever currently is just going up the roof this year more than anything else.
Really? What do you think is attributed to that?
The dry weather, the development. You catch valley fever through the spores and the dirt. They fly in the air, and I had valley fever 20 years ago or plus.
Oh my goodness.
And I was able to tell my story through the Kern County public health department, and they have me all over these billboards and whatever. And so around town is it's a bit embarrassing, but if I can help out with the cause of creating awareness, I'm there to help them. So definitely, my word is take care of your health. Take control of your health. So wherever you go, if you have a flu-like symptom, I know they may think it's COVID, but have your physician test you for valley fever.
So then what does it look like for someone who's out in our audience who's thinking, okay, I like this idea of telehealth medicine, but they've got valley fever. How are they getting seen then when they have this?
Well, that's pretty good. You combine the two together, right? In the sense of, so usually if you have valley fever, you get seen by either an infectious disease doctor or pulmonologist, and we have those in our network. So, so if they get referred to us by one of the primary care doctors, we can get them seen within a week. So the beauty of telehealth is that my pool of physicians are from all over the place. So I can, instead of a long wait time, whatever that may be, I can get them in relatively quick.
So theoretically, a person could go to 5 specialists in a week if they wanted to, and just see one every single day, Monday through Friday.
Sure thing.
And get stuff just finished really quick.
Because you don't have to travel. You can be seen at home. You can come seen at one of our clinics, satellite locations, and it's all virtual. They just show up on the screen. So your doctor could be literally locally, which we have many local physicians. They could be 2 miles away, 20 miles away, or 2,000 miles away. It really doesn't matter because you're still, dealing with the patient.
That's crazy. It's so cool how that works these days.
Isn't that pretty awesome?
Yeah. Well, and I'm curious too, since I know we were talking about events earlier, but how do these in-person events help your online-based business? Because your business it's online. So, but doing all these in-person events, it seems kind of backwards, like, oh, wouldn't you, and I'm talking from the audience perspective, like, well, wouldn't you just want to market digitally and do digital billboards and Facebook ads? And, a lot of people think, oh, it's it's a digital business, why not digital? Why would you recommend to business owners to do in-person events when they have a digital-based business?
So I guess that's a multi-part question, like why do I attend all these events? Usually when I attend these events is for a different reason, not necessarily for self-promotion of Telehealthdocs Medical Group.
I see.
Telehealthdocs Medical Group is based on referrals and relationships and dealing with these communities. Whenever I'm attending these events, it's usually my other hat, a nonprofit hat, helping with either a Rotary event, Asian Chamber event, a Valley Fever event, and many others, right? But to answer your question, what do I recommend to these people to do their, think about your business. Who's your core audience? And how do you attract that core audience? And how do you build that relationship with them to attract that business?
I see. So in your case, what are going to all these events, what audience does that attract for you?
Well, let's pick an event. Well, the Asian Chamber event. We had our mixer. That was a great mixer that we were able to do the work, and some of them that attended happened to be physicians, right? That could be a coincidence. Some of them would person, hey, Dr. So-and-so, would you like to attend this event? Come on by. You get to meet other people, and then you get that segmented time with them, right? And you say, hey, are you having any of these challenges? How long does it take, for your patient to get these results back when you said to a specialist? Try us out, or Valley Fever, for example. You have a press release with them. Give us a try. Let us earn your business.
So it never hurts to keep going.
No, the publicity is there. Any way you can get the word out for multiple causes, So I'm out there, not just for my business of Telehealthdocs Medical Group, but representing all the other organizations as well.
And that's the key right there, is that it's everything all at once.
Absolutely.
All the time.
All the time.
Even though it seems like there's a lot on the plate.
You just make it work. You wonder sometimes, gosh, I don't live a normal life. I'm doing these 14-hour days plus weekends, but that's okay because it's what you believe in.
Yeah.
So I don't get a chance to watch as much television, or you don't get a chance to do this and that. I'm fortunate enough where my adult kids are out of home, and I can do that. If they were at home, it would be a completely different life.
Well, and what would you say to your kids? As they were growing up, they watched you go into business. What do you tell them to inspire them in their endeavors? Well,
I inspired them by always being there at all their events. It's not necessarily quantity of time, but quality of time. I was always home to help them with their homework. I was at their sports events, their award ceremonies, things like that. And as long as I'm there and present, and I always make them a priority. Because to me, at the end of the day, your family is everything.
Yeah. If you're doing your business, why not do it for your family?
Exactly. At the end of the day, who's going to put on the gravestone, I wish I had more time for work, right? You want more time with your family. Because time is one thing that you can't get back. Not yet, at least, right? We're not back to the future type situation.
Until you develop a time travel portal for
that's my next project. But for now, time is, you can always make more money, you can always do this and that, but time will continue to move forward. And your kids will always get older and be part of society, and to spend time with them, to me, is priceless.
Well, and what have you taught them about networking, about meeting people? Relationships.
Don't burn bridges. Treat people how you want to be treated. That's how I grew up. Overwhelm them with kindness, and life's not fair.
Yeah,
life's not fair. Life's not fair, but you know what? It's how you handle those obstacles. That's what I always ingrain into my children, and other people. It's more than my children. I mentor lots of people in my career, and I always try to bring them up to the next level. If you surround yourself with people who are smarter than you, better than you, more power to you, because that's what I believe in. It only makes you a better person. It makes you better.
Well, thank you, Quon. And for visionaries that want to get in touch with you, what are some ways they can do that?
Well, many ways. Telehealthdocs.com, telehealthdocs.com is our website. We're on Facebook and things like that. You can get hold of me that way. You can call the office at 661-840-9270.
Awesome, thank you. And Visionaires, if you like this, well, you should definitely tune in. Every Monday, we've got a live show going on. And on the weekends, we drop our main show, which this week we had Colleen Bauer of Fairy Godmother Events. We talked about how much you should reinvest in new technology for your business. Actually, I don't think that's the right thing that I'm reading. So I'll just tell you what we talked about. We talked about being a bride, staying on budget, diamonds, they are a girl's best friend, and so many other things. So feel free, head over to the main part of our channel. You can see that. And every week we're here. So thank you for tuning in to Small Business Celebration. We'll see you next week for our Meat and Potatoes Live.